How's it going? All Chris Messi cleaning windows on the Foul Coast once again. So, been a bit under the weather today, and decided to take the day off. I've had a sore throat, stinging headache, and a big dose of can't be arsed-itis. So I stayed at home today, caught up on paperwork and a few bits and pieces. But in the background, when I try and do office work, I always try to have background noise on, like put the telly on or something like that. But I managed to catch the Jeremy Vine show for my sins. They were talking a bit about how the younger generation are not taking up physical work in the sense that they are focusing purely on the sort of internet side of life, the computer sciences. They're focusing on, what we would have regarded in my day as soft role jobs, i.e. like things like working in offices, working from home, working online, graphic design, a lot of intellectual based jobs. And it's hardly surprising given that schools are pigeonholing kids into that role. And as I've said in previous videos, it's the world's changing. Back when I was a youngster, it was, common. It was very common for people, for youngsters to come out with things like, "Oh, I'm going to join the army. I'm going to become a plumber. I'm going to become an engineer. I'm going to become. I'm going to work." With my hands. I'm quite creative. I work with my hands, and again, it's hardly surprising because again, 1998 when I left school, there were very few jobs in the tech industry, if you like, or working from home wasn't a thing unless you were self-employed. So the thing is that again, the world's changed. Okay, for good, for bad, indifferent. It's different. It's just changed. Okay, and there was a couple of guests on that Jeremy Vine show got the knickers in a twist and saying things along the lines of, young people want an easy life, they are lazy, they don't want to work, and they don't want to join the British Army, they don't want to serve in those kinds of physical roles. And I just thought I would stick my 2 pence in for what it's worth. Okay. It's on the one hand you had Danny Mills, ex-England footballer, saying things like, "Oh, the people are entitled, they're lazy, they don't want to work." And on the other side, you had this girl who was sort of saying, "Oh, well, the social contract has been broken," and all this sort of stuff. In effect, saying that the state should provide job security and keep wages fair. Okay. And in my humble opinion, they're both wrong. And the reason why they're both wrong is they fail to understand one very simple fact. It's not youngsters' fault that they want to to have nice things. It's not their fault they don't want to risk their lives in foreign countries so that men in suits can profit from their death. It's not because it's not because they're idle. It's because we as human beings are always used to, and again, I draw reference to what I've said in previous videos, we are so used to taking the path of least resistance, whatever keeps us safe, yeah? So the thing is that people talking a little bit about how, there's idleness, there's laziness. Yeah, sure, there is, to some extent, but I don't think every single young person is lazy, in much the same way that I don't think every millionaire is a money-grabbing bastard. It's one of those, the truth is always in the middle, right? Yeah, sure, youngsters don't want to join the British Army anymore. Now, why is that? The army and the military at the minute is not appealing to the young generation. Why? Because youngsters that want to join the military seek adventure. They seek to test themselves. They seek, action. Well, what's going on in the world with the British Army at the minute? You might go on an exercise to Kenya, you might go to Bathurst in Canada, you might go to Gibraltar, you might go to Norway doing Arctic warfare training, you might, even if you're lucky, go to the, unlucky, depending on how you look at it, go to the jungle and do jungle warfare course, right? But there are no active conflicts taking place. So youngsters that would traditionally have joined the British Army to see a bit of action, to see a bit of adventure, it's just not there anymore. And, you know, when you look at British Army recruiting ads now, they're all giving it the big licks, like, oh, well, in a humanitarian disaster. And you see them running around with stretchers, you know, helping helping other people and all this sort of stuff. And you'll notice that not a single one of them is carrying a rifle. They're trying to sanitize and treat youngsters like fucking idiots. What do you think? So you know, why have an ad trying to appeal to youngsters wanting to join the army if they don't get to see the kit, they don't get to see the rifles, they don't get to see any of it because it's a sanitized version, and it's got to be TV friendly and all this crap. As for youngsters looking to make money online and stuff like that, again, who can blame them? The government during the pandemic has pushed work from home, okay, and that seems to have stuck. Most people now want to work from home. Is it because they're lazy? Yeah, possibly, some of them. But I think most of it is because it's flexible. They don't have to sit in an hour's commute. They don't have to sit in a car breathing in exhaust fumes. You know, they don't have to drive into the city centre of Manchester for what could be a fucking email. You know what I mean? People are starting to wake up now. They're starting to understand, yeah, that they don't have to go and work hard. They don't have to break themselves on the wheel because some guy in a suit says they have to, you know. But on the flip side of that, having said all of that, right, hearing me say this, you might think, oh, well, the world of work is dead and it's changed, and, you know, people that work physical jobs are just going to be the slaves of the guys that work on computers. No, far from it. The market is changing. It's not a case anymore of people just settling for, oh, well, my dad went down the pit, so I'll go down the pit. Or my dad was an engineer, I'll be an engineer. Or my dad was in the Navy, so I'm going to join the Navy. It's not like that anymore, you know. Young people have access to information. They have more agency over how they work, how they earn money, where they earn money. You know, they want more out of life. Who can blame them? If are you honestly telling me that if you approached a fucking coal miner in like the 1920s and said to him, I'm going to give you a box, and in that box, right, yeah, if you open that box, you'll be able to work from home. You don't have to go down the pit and risk your life to pull coal out of the earth. You know, you can order your food on this little tablet sort of thing, and they'll deliver it to you. Are you honestly expecting me to believe that a 1920s fucking coal miner would say, oh no, I couldn't possibly, you know, sacrifice my way of life to make it easier? Give your head a shake. You know, as human beings, if you are given the choice of an easier life, you will take it. It's a survival mechanism, you know, because the path of least resistance usually leads to safety. Yeah, stepping out of your comfort zone is normally where the damage happens. Is normally where the tiger eats you, you know. But again, yes, the market has changed, and just because, for example, I do, or at least I used to, be a window cleaner and clean windows for a living, etc. Just because this world is changing does not mean I'm going to be relegated to be a slave of a guy behind a laptop. No. Because as more people transition to working from home, working on a laptop, working, you know, remotely, etc., you know, opportunities for people like me to make money will still exist, okay? If anything, this change in how people work is going to benefit me. Why do I say that? Because the number of people doing a physical job will decline. People will want to work remotely. They'll want to work from home. They'll want to do the pink and fluffy stuff at home. They want that work-life balance that we've been promised all this time. And they'll try and break themselves to try and make it happen. But as a result of that, people like me will increasingly decline. You know, the number of people who are physically prepared to go out and do a physical job, to physically do a job, is going to go down. Which basically means that for people like me, the price is going to go up, the wages are going to go up, the value is going to go up. Why? Because there's less of us. And like in any market, where there is a decline in a resource or an asset, where there is a decline in numbers, there is a massive growth in how much you can charge for said service. You know, He who has the gold makes the rules. It's the golden rule. Yeah. So I would say to young people wanting to start a business, either online or working as a window cleaner like I do, it doesn't really matter in grand scheme of things, because, you know, I would say I wouldn't worry about what other people think. If you want to go and work online, go and work online. If you want to be a window cleaner, be a window cleaner. If you want to be a soldier, be a soldier. But increasingly, young people now have something that the older generation, perhaps to some extent me, didn't have, which was a choice. And now people have got choices. Yeah, they're making decisions. You can't blame young people for making these choices when the world around them was created by people from their generation. Just food for thought. Anyway, have a good weekend all. I shall see you in the next video. Keep on keeping on. Like and subscribe. Take care.